Hello guys and welcome. I hope that you're doing well. My name is UHD King, or I play 4K, AK, I play 8K, AK, I play 16K, and during this video I'm going to demonstrate Dying Light PC game running on a PC flagship gaming PC from 2018 with Nvidia Titan RTX video card and Intel Core i9-9900K processor. And it's going to be Dying Light Retouched version. As you can see, here is the what they brought in retouched version. Okay, and higher resolution textures, upscale skyboxes and clouds, but higher resolution textures does not look like upscale, look like it's going to be native, which is nice. Ultra level high quality shadows, which they claiming 8K UHD video resolution shadows. I'm not sure why we need 8K video resolution shadows, but anyways, I'm going to show you throughout this gameplay. Shadows at lowest visuals are still better in this particular game than at maximum, which is ultra level. They added the ultra level, okay, and it was introduced in June, as you can see, in June 26, 2025. They introduced the retouched version, so it's not remastered but retouched. Okay, this is what they claimed, and this is some comparison what developers did, this Polish developers, and this is one of the best PC games, classic and best. Highly recommend for you, as this is one of the best retro. As you can see, EK ultra shadows, as they claim, so they improved the textures a little bit and such like that, and a lot of music is improved. So let's go ahead and have a look, guys. I already demonstrated to you in 8K video resolution on this system. I'm going to do 4K, 5K, 6K, 7K, 10K, 12K, and hopefully 16K. Maybe not, because I don't think it's going to be 24GB of video RAM will be good enough to do it, but we're gonna find out. Maybe 16K video resolution lowest. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a look, guys. So this is what's up, and it's on Steam. I have the completely all the DLC, completely the full package for this game. Sipping that nice strong dark coffee, black coffee. So this gameplay is not going to be as fast as possible, but I will demonstrate all kind of different visual presets under the 4K UHD video resolution. So this is going to be a 4K video resolution test. Check out the video comments for all kind of different visual resolutions. Video resolutions in this particular game.
The eyes of the world have been glued to the city of Iran for the past 2 months, following the outbreak of a previously unknown pathogen.
So this is a great thing. I have Dying Light 2, Stay Human. I have the Dying Light Original. I have the maxed out with all the DLCs 2 games, and they're about to introduce the third game in August 2025. Hopefully I'm gonna get it and also use it as benchmark. Too bad that developers didn't introduce the benchmark tool inside of the game. When you're developing games, this is a good idea to introduce the benchmark tool. So as you can see, the Dying Light the Beast is coming. Hopefully I'm gonna get it for you, and this is coming out for you guys in August 22nd, 2025. Today is July 14th already, 2025. So in about a month and a week will be released. So let's go ahead and have a look. This is going to be the following DLC that I'm going to play, Old Town. I'm about to complete the parking lot quest, but I'm not here to do any quest. We're here to do the benchmark, so in the future we can compare with all kind of different PC systems, even handheld devices, all kind of different video cards, GPUs, CPUs, processors, and you know, everything what comes around it as benchmark. Who knows if my videos on the Dying Light will receive a lot of likes. Maybe I'm also going to do the walkthrough in 8K UHD. Why not? It's such a great game. As you can see, guys, I put the data for you at the right top corner. We're gonna talk a lot about it. Keep your eye on it. Okay. I'm recording with Nvidia Shadowplay on the same system. And let me a little bit bring down the noise, so it's not gonna be. So go ahead and add 6 FPS. It's exactly 6 FPS without the recording, but just because it's recording on the same system, it takes 6 FPS while doing this on the same system. For this particular resolution, I just tested before that to find out. So as you can see, field of view will be maxed out right here. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and bring a little bit SFX, so we're not gonna hear the church pretty bad, but the game has a beautiful music. It has beautiful sounds. As you can see, a lot of people playing with me on Steam and a lot of games. They follow me on YouTube and follow me on Steam, so we're playing a lot of games. Go ahead and subscribe so we can play some games together. We can have some fun together. Let me refresh the average FPS again. 68, 70, 72, 4K UHD. This is going to be the maximum visual resolution. I'm going to start with the maximum visual resolution preset. So full screen is on, 4K UHD, 3840 by 2160 pixels, exactly 4K, 16 divided by 9 aspect ratio. Frame rate cap will be uncapped. Just to demonstrate the maximum possible FPS, but this is the caps that you can set if you like to set the caps. I don't, so I'm gonna uncap it to demonstrate the maximum possible FPS. Vertical synchronization is off as well, so we're not limited in terms of the FPS. Shadow map size ultra, foliage quality at high. Maximum visuals will be maximum visual distance. Ambient occlusion is on. Ambient occlusion actually taxing a lot on Turing GPU architecture GPU, and today Nvidia Titan RTX video card equipped with 24GB of DDR6 by Samsung with around 700 gigabytes per second bandwidth, struggling with ambient occlusion. Okay. The ADA GPU architecture will be nailing almost ambient occlusion without losing any FPS, but ambient occlusion is still struggling on Turing GPU architecture. Anti-aliasing is not as taxing as ambient occlusion on Turing GPU architecture. So as you can see, I set all kind of Nvidia features. I'm also going to disable them for people that are going to benchmark and compare the results on AMD Radeon video cards. But we're going to start with everything maxed out, including the anti-aliasing maxed out, except I turned down the film grain effect and I'm turned down the chromatic aberration effect. I don't like that. It's kind of destruction in terms of the visual. I would like to see a beautiful maximum visuals. So this is, guys, how we're gonna go ahead and get going. So let's go ahead and have a look. The night just over, so we just survived the night. This game is crazy, especially during the night time. It's very dangerous. This game is released by the Polish game developers. As again, it's one of the best games out there for PC. Just like a Stalker game series, kind of similar to that, survival kind of thing. Kind of like RPG from first-person shooter. But this is about the zombies. Zombies apocalypse. Kind of RPG from first-person shooter. During the night, it's very dangerous, just like a Stalker game series. And as again, I consider this is one of the best 10 best games on PCs, and this is going to be on the list, guys. Dying Light is beautiful. I have Dying Light 2, but I didn't play it yet. I was so busy while doing all kind of different benchmarks, gameplays for you in 8K, 10K, 12K, and 16K video resolutions, including the 4K video resolution. So I was kind of busy. Cut his head off, like unbelievable. This game is about the parkourish elements to it. It's like a mirror edge with the zombies. It's unbelievable. You can craft the items, you can collect the items, progress. It has a great game story. I highly recommend, if you're smart, you can pick up this game fully with all the DLCs, $10 on Steam throughout the fall, spring, summer, or winter sales. Keep that in mind. Highly recommend for you guys. I'm going to test this game on the future PC systems, including the handheld devices. I'm about to build a handheld device. which is I consider one of the best. And stick around. So we're gonna build the handheld gaming system together, and which I consider the best for the money and performance. It's going to be powered with Z1 Extreme, because Z2 Extreme is almost the same as Z1 Extreme, but they're charging almost 30% more. But stick around, I don't want to do too much spoilers. Subscribe, smash that like button, and stick around for the handheld devices, because I consider the handheld devices better choice than the laptop, because you can still connect the keyboard mouse to handheld device as well. You can hack, as you can see in this game. Get yourself into the here we go. I just unlocked that. Pick up some goodies, craft parts for crafting and stuff. Dark machi, as you can see, I have it. We go and pick it up. Pudge. Some subscribers sent me his save file. I never finished this game, but this game is amazing. I was having a lot of fun. So I can play the following DLC. It's pretty much the next story after the original story in Dying Light. The following, just extend the story with some additional campaign through the DLC. So guys, the retouched version is pretty much the same thing in terms of the FPS as original, but it's much better, especially when you're gonna look at the walls, textures, maps, normal maps, and diffuse maps. Diffuse maps will be improved a lot in terms of the details, and the ground texture way improved, and the shadows, those UHD shadows, but I'm not a big fan of it because I think the low quality shadows still looking great, especially when you're playing in 8K video resolution and above. At low visual settings, shadows still great, because at ultra visual settings, shadows in UHD under this retouched version is a little bit too sharp in terms of the shadows for me. At low visuals, they kind of more realistic. So the FPS will be almost the same, maybe plus minus maximum 10 FPS for running the retouched version versus the original. So original will receive 10% higher FPS, but the video RAM utilization on retouched version is much higher than the original version. So if you don't have a video card with a lot of video RAM, do not install the retouched version. Just play the original, or if you're playing it on a handheld device, the original will be the best for you, because even if 5% or 10% FPS boost is still going to be golden, because the screen is little, and on this 7-inch, 11-inch screen, you're not gonna see any difference. Even in 1080p, if you're playing retouched version, or if you're playing the original version, because the screen is too small. It's going to be a little bit sharper, but you're not going to see that much details. Alright, so this is alright. So this was the maximum. As you saw, 70 ED FPS average, I would say it like that. I'm going to go ahead and switch to a different visual preset, and I'm going to reboot the game real quick. So we're going to go ahead and test Shadow Map Size Ultra. Let's go ahead and test it very high. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn down the ambient occlusion. Then I'm going to turn down the depth of field, HBAO by Nvidia goodies. And we're going to go ahead and start turning stuff down. First, we're going to turn down the anti-aliasing, but let's go ahead and play it like this. A little bit more. Let me start over. We just turned down the shadows from ultra to very high, just like it was in the original game. It wasn't any ultra visual preset, so ultra visual preset and shadows is UHD diffuse maps, and I believe it's not upscale only skyboxes and clouds. So the skyboxes spheres on top will be upscaled sky, but didn't mention that they upscaled the textures itself. It says the higher resolution. So I believe they designed the textures higher resolution and then they downscale when they release the game. But you're gonna see it. It's definitely much higher quality everywhere, and game looks much sharper for sure as minimum. And for some folks, especially if you're playing on I would say 65-inch and above screen, for some folks in 4K video resolution and above, you're gonna see a big difference in terms of the visuals. It's going to be a little bit better in terms of the details and way sharper, way sharper. Okay, so guys, this is when shutter is like this, a little bit, just I would say maybe by 1 FPS higher, by 1%, 2% higher in terms of the FPS. But the video RAM utilization will be a little bit lowered from ultra to very high, because the resolution of the diffuse maps on those textures will be lower at very high versus the ultra. A little bit like Assassin's Creed, a little bit as well. This game was developed by the Polish developers, and they actually from the town that actually looks like this in architecture. So maybe they were mimicking their town a little bit. You never know. But the architecture is kind of like that, or the architecture will look like in Assassin's Creed a little bit as well. Okay, so we saw that it's a little bit higher FPS, 80, 82, 83. Let me go ahead and turn down the anti-aliasing now. Ambient occlusion, anti-aliasing, but as again, anti-aliasing doesn't tax the FPS as high as ambient occlusion. Ambient occlusion is still hard for the Turing GPU architecture, for the flagship Turing GPU architecture chip from 2018. But this game from 2015, keep that in mind. But they did the retouched version, which is a little bit better improvements in 2025. Let me go ahead and reboot the game. I'm gonna, every single time I'm gonna do some changes to visuals. I'm going to go ahead and reboot it just in case. Let's go ahead and just to make sure that all the data that displaying for you at the right top corner also going to be cleared. I did not develop the game engine, and I did not develop the data stats monitoring system. So just in case we are rebooting, just to clear the garbage collector and make sure the data at the right top corner will be correct. Alright, let's go ahead and play that. Guys, the performance in 4K video resolution until the video RAM will go above 11 GB will be the same on Nvidia RTX 2080 Ti video card, because they're using almost the same GPUs, keep that in mind. Titan RTX using the full TU102 GPU, while RTX 2080 Ti American version is using cut down version. The difference will be in 256 CUDA cores, okay, between them, between Titan RTX GPU and RTX 2080 Ti GPU. So Titan RTX will be 256 CUDA cores more. Keep in mind that Dying Light game supports Nvidia SLI, so you can use 2 Titan RTX video cards in SLI, or 2 RTX 2080 Ti video cards in SLI. Let's see. We started like that. Way higher FPS, as you can see, without the ambient occlusion. So ambient occlusion is actually taxing in 4K video resolution. We are 88, 90. The game feels great above 60 FPS. Completely very comfortable to play, especially for me, for the old school gamer that played a lot of games, even 30, 40 FPS. This is very comfortable FPS, like unbelievable. But some folks that playing at 200 Hz screens, maybe it's not gonna be that comfortable, you know. But at least it's very playable right now. For sure, you can finish this game and absolutely with the full experience and have so much fun. And as again, the game supports Nvidia SLI. That means that you can connect the video cards by Nvidia that's supporting SLI together. And Nvidia Titan RTX is the last flagship. The last flagship will be RTX 3090 Ti or RTX 3090 that supports Nvidia SLI actually. The next generation. And after, which will be the Nvidia MP or GPU architecture. Right after Nvidia Turing GPU architecture. And after that, they pretty much going to go ahead and remove the Nvidia SLI. For more information, more gameplays, more videos regarding the Nvidia SLI while connecting multiple video cards such as Titan X Maxwells, Titan XPs, GT2 GTX 1080 Ti, 2 RTX 2080 Ti, Titan RTX, RTX 3090 in SLI, go ahead and check out my project sliready.com or slireadygames.com. It's running beautiful, guys, as you can see. Right now is over 100 FPS, even 97. Let me reset the average FPS again. I reset it when I started. This game has such a beautiful details. They also improved the visual distance throughout this retouch edition of the improvement of the game. So the visual rendering is improved, so you're not gonna see at maximum visuals how the details will be pre-rendered. It's going to be seamless, which is nice. So you're gonna receive much better realistic experience. And as you can see, the game is gorgeous. This game is from 2015, but it looked like it was released in 2024. It doesn't support ray tracing like RTX or ray tracing from any other extensions, but the visuals and mimicking the ray tracing is such a great in this game, which is unbelievable. So it doesn't need it because ray tracing versus mimicking ray tracing almost twice less performance on ray tracing on any GPUs. Keep that in mind, that's supporting ray tracing. So just because the game looks beautiful even without the ray tracing, you don't need it. It's beautiful visuals, as you can see, and the great FPS. So 4K UHD definitely for Titan RTX to play above 80 on average, it's not a problem, and definitely experience is unbelievable. Let me go ahead and oh my goodness, let me get.
You see that?
Oh my god, what was that? They almost killed me. Like everywhere are soldiers. Let me go ahead and kind of humble them a little bit. And use the fire arrows. We're gonna set them on fire a little bit. Okay, so there is some soldiers there who are waiting for us. Thanks God that they didn't kill me though. But they was about to kill. Yeah, those guys are dangerous. Let's go and burn them a little bit. They're having the guns.
Don't be like that. Come on down. Let's do this.
Alright. Let me see. They cannot. Not burning, but the regular arrows is a surprise for them for sure. They kill me. Anyways, let's go ahead and switch. The game is not that easy, but it's not that hard. It depends what kind of difficulty you're playing this game. The player that sent me the save file played this at maximum difficulty. Let's go ahead and reset it, and then now I'm going to disable the ambient occlusion. So you saw without the anti-aliasing maximum visuals, Right now we're gonna do the maximum visuals, and I'm gonna turn down the ambient occlusion as well. So anti-aliasing was off. Now we're gonna turn down the ambient occlusion completely. I'm gonna show it without the ambient occlusion, and then I'm gonna turn down the Nvidia features such as PCSS and Nvidia depth of field. So let's go ahead and save it like that, and let's go ahead and reboot the game real quick. Guys, it's a nighttime. Don't forget to support this video with a like, so more benchmarks are coming out. Every time I'm finding the free time, you know, I'm doing some benchmarks, and I want to bench on this hardware all the games that I have. So people that building computers of the use parts, which is the best way to build computers, will know exactly how the system will perform, this particular system. Keep in mind that if you're gonna add the CPU and GPU both from 2018, but when it comes to building computers, you already know that GPU is always 2-3 years faster than the CPU, no matter what kind of this is how it's designed. What kind of year and what kind of GPU or CPU architecture you're looking. So if you're gonna add the let's say 12th generation Intel CPU or 14th generation Intel CPU or Ryzen 7 7000 or Ryzen 7 9000 X3D, you're gonna receive as minimum 10% boost on the FPS as minimum. Okay, so guys, this is how we're gonna play. Maximum visuals, shadows from ultra to very high, but there is not such a difference. I'm going to show it to you. Ambient occlusion is off and anti-aliasing is off as well. 4K UHD. Let's go ahead and have a look. So we're going to go ahead and load from the same position. This is how I was always benching. As again, just because I'm recording at about 6 FPS to the FPS counter, if you're not going to record, and the Titan RTX running stock, if you're going to overclock the Titan RTX, it's at least in this particular game 15% boost if I'm maxed out on the air overclock, but at least going to be 10% boost. So if you're going to overclock the Titan RTX, it's going to compensate the video recording. Keep that in mind. Look at this. Immediately, let me reset the average FPS. Immediately boost 111 FPS. That's a great. So ambient occlusion indeed was taxing a lot of performance, as you can see, much higher and much heavier than anti-aliasing. Ambient occlusion. And what is the ambient occlusion for those who didn't play this game? Ambient occlusion is pretty much like in-air shadows in Photoshop. When you're applying to the layer in-air shadows around the object in Photoshop, creating those in-air shadows, not outside shadows but in-air shadows. This is kind of in 3D. It's kind of what ambient occlusion does. It's creating around the edges of 3D model, 3D primitive. It's creating the darker spots on the edges when the edges starts, and it's kind of mimicking the lighting, darker and lighter spots, and on the shadows, on the edges, it's creating darker sides. So pretty much mimicking, not realistic, but very close to realistic lighting to it, element of the lighting through a shadows. But as again, just in this particular game, it's kind of hard to tell when the ambient occlusion used or not. And ambient occlusion in today's games, on or off, it's pretty much almost the same. You gotta just go ahead and zoom in and go through the screenshots to see the difference. It's kind of hard to tell. But ambient occlusion taxing a lot of FPS on the Turing GPU architecture. It's way over 10%. It's like 15-20% as minimum when it's enabled. As again, it depends what kind of ambient occlusion technologies that you're also using to particular game engine. But particular in this one is going to be this ambient occlusion, and yeah, it's heavy. as you can see on Turing GPU architecture. As again, if you don't want to have any problems with the ambient occlusion in terms of the FPS, you're not going to feel it. You're going to use at least Nvidia AIDA GPU architecture or Blackwell. Blackwell will be eating that ambient occlusion like it's nothing. Because Turing GPU architecture eating the anti-aliasing like it's almost nothing. On Maxwell GPU architecture, anti-aliasing was a big deal, keep that in mind. But on Turing, it's not at all. But if you're going to use the Blackwell or Nvidia AIDA or Nvidia Blackwell for sure, you're not going to feel the ambient occlusion. Hopefully, guys, I explained it. Look at this, 115 FPS, beautiful. During the day, the game is not so scary, not so hard, difficult, but as again, it depends what kind of difficulty you're playing. But during the night, this game is crazy. Alright, guys, so I showed you this preset, and I showed you zombies and stuff. Pretty much the steady FPS, way over 100 FPS for sure. Very beautiful gameplay. So you can compare with the future video cards. You can compare by how many times it's faster or slower. Let's go ahead and switch it now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, alright, so we saw that. I'm going to turn off depth of field as well, Nvidia depth of field. I'm going to show it without the depth of field right now, and then just a little bit for a couple minutes. The FPS will be almost the same. It doesn't make any difference on Nvidia Turing GPU architecture, but I'm going to demonstrate that, and then I'm going to lower the visuals again. So this is how we're going to play it. Okay, let's go ahead and have a look. Let me reset the average FPS. As you can see, it's the same deal, not a difference. Maybe 1 FPS difference for the depth of field, but not a big difference at all. You can medium. Alright, so medium complexity. Let's see. Oh, check it out. I just opened like it's nothing. Yeah, Polish developers did a good job. Good job. And about 90% games that was developed by the Polish developers are like a piece of art. One of the best games. They are doing a good job when it comes to game developing. They have a great game developing studios. Talented artists, talented programmers. Everything is talented when it comes to Polish game development, and I'm a big fan of their studios. They know how to develop a game. So check it out, 120 even FPS, that's unbelievable. So it's completely comfortable, and as again, the game supports Nvidia SLI, so you can connect two Titan RTXs and definitely boost the FPS. But as you can see right now, even with a single Titan RTX, my GPU utilization 96-98%. That means that I'm not fully utilizing even the single Titan RTX. Nvidia TU102 GPU, not fully utilizing it. That means that I'm wasting a little bit of the CUDA cores, about 4-2%, about 100-256 CUDA cores during GPU architecture is wasted, and that means that if I'm going to connect this secondary video card for the Nvidia Titan RTX and SLI, I'm going to waste a lot of CUDA cores. And the reason why this happens, because the processor is not fast enough. Just like I told you, if you're building computers, you know that video card, the GPU is about 3 years faster than the CPU, and it doesn't matter actually. It's been like this since 2000. It doesn't matter how fast is your CPU. Usually the GPU is minimum 3 times faster. Keep that in mind. So to have the full Titan RTX GPU utilization at 99-100% in 4K video resolution, all what I need just to add a faster CPU that can produce higher instruction per clock. Okay, so it can handle it faster. So the GPU is not going to wait for the CPU, because CPU is not fast enough instruction per clock. Because right now, as you can see, I'm using the Nvidia Titan RTX, Nvidia TU102 GPU that featuring 4600 CUDA cores. 4600 CUDA cores. They're small, but it's 46 of them. 4600 versus 16 CPU cores total. which is 8 physical cores and 8 logical cores additional through the hyper-threading technology. Total 16 threads, so 16 kind of visual cores. So it's not fast enough. Okay, so I would say to utilize fully Nvidia Titan RTX video card, you need to have at least 12th generation Intel CPU or 7000 series AMD Ryzen X3D processor. You're gonna utilize it at 100%, even at 4K video resolution. But you're definitely going to utilize your GPU at 100% if you're gonna increase the resolution, because the lower resolution, the lower resolution, the less GPU is used and the more CPU is used, because the lower resolution CPU is used a lot, and the faster CPU, the more GPU cores will be used. Keep that in mind. So, but if you don't have a fast CPU, or what you can do, you can increase the resolution. So you're gonna use less CPU and you're gonna use more of the GPU. Keep that in mind. So this CPU, i9-9900K, as you can see, cannot fully utilize Nvidia Titan RTX video card, even the single one, in 4K video resolution. It just can't. i9-9900K cannot utilize Titan RTX fully in 4K video resolution, even with maximum visuals. But check it out, that's crazy zombies. But it can utilize fully Titan RTX in 8K video resolution. Keep that in mind. So just like I told you, I just explained to you the rules, so you know the rules. Okay, this is very complex. Here we go. Just open that. The game is beautiful, guys. You're gonna enjoy that. Alright, we got some nuts, we got some goodies. So 117, way above 110. That's crazy. So let me go ahead before the night comes. I'm trying to record the video before the night. So what I'm gonna do now, so this is what guys maximum visuals, except no anti-aliasing, no ambient occlusion at all. And shadow map size was very high, just like original game was. But ultra, I demonstrated to you the ultra. Let me put you the ultra for you. It doesn't matter actually. Shadow's going to eat a little bit more of video RAM because they're higher resolution. Check it out. It's the same FPS as you can see at ultra right now, shadows. I'm about to switch to lower resolution and show you how the game looks like at lower resolution. The game looks fantastic actually with Retouched Edition, even in 4K video resolution at the lowest visual preset. But at 8K video resolution and above, lowest visual preset looks like maximum visuals in 1080p for sure. Yeah, as you can see, the FPS actually is a little bit lower, just a little bit, not by a lot, by just few FPS at ultra, but I demonstrated to you the ultra. Alright, so let me go ahead and so we're gonna switch to shadow map size now to very high, and I'm gonna bring everything to the lowest visual preset now. We're gonna test at the lowest visual preset. So shadow map size low, foliage quality low, view distance minimum completely, and everything else is disabled. So minimum visuals now. We're gonna save that, and I'm gonna reboot. The game is also asking us to reboot itself. It actually did it automatically. So even developers knows that you gotta reboot the game while switching between the maximum and lowest visual presets, because look like some maps going to recompile, and that's why. Let's see. Nvidia the way meant to be played, exactly it is. And guys, the Titan RTX video card so far, I own over 20 video cards by Nvidia and about 10-15 video cards by ATI AMD. Radeons. I would say this is the best video card that I so far own. It lasts like a true fine wine, and yeah, it's definitely one of the best video cards. I purchased it in 2018. Today is 2025, and I can play any games in 4K video resolution at playable, very playable FPS, very enjoyable playable FPS, not just playable, and above 4K video resolution in benchable conditions for sure. In the games that supporting SLI, I can also have more than one Titan RTX. I can connect that and play that. But right now I'm using those Titan RTXs mostly for the AI, artificial intelligence. Guys, believe me, the artificial intelligence, even image generation, video generation, way more fun than the video games. It's just unbelievable. And I'm playing a lot with that. More information about it will be shared over my official UHD King YouTube channel. So another reason for you to thumbs up, I'm keep reading. I'm about to introduce my image generation services by AI that you don't want to miss. It's going to be fantastic. So wherever I'm having some time to play some games, I'm putting one of my system on pause, and I'm playing some games and at the same time testing that system. I tested a lot i9-9900K with Nvidia Titan RTX, and I'm continue this tradition, and I will test almost in every popular game. Let me reset the average FPS, 164 FPS at the lowest visual preset, 4K video resolution. This is unbelievable. It's running silky smooth, guys, and let's go ahead and have a look. As again, this is the lowest visual preset, 4K video resolution. Texture quality at high though. I can switch the texture quality to medium. There is no low visual preset for texture quality. It's high and low. I'm gonna play at high, and then I'm gonna switch to low to finish this up. But as you can see, lowest visual preset. The difference in this game, Dying Light PC game, it almost none. While you're playing lowest visual preset to the maximum visual preset, almost look is the same. Almost. Keep that in mind. In terms of the visuals, almost the same. It's kind of hard to tell the difference. But of course, psychological effect is better always play maxed out. Even if you don't see with the naked eye the difference, but it's still kind of here and there. There's a little bit of difference for sure. If you're playing at maximum visuals, you're gonna see everything gonna look like eye candy and stuff like that. Yeah, it's beautiful. As you can see, 140, 150 FPS average. This is absolutely fantastic. If you're gonna add Nvidia Titan RTX, second video card, is going to be 2 times FPS. It's not 2 times FPS, it's 1.75 FPS times. The reason 1.75x. The reason why, because the first Titan RTX will be overheating. It's gonna thermal throttle, and it's gonna thermal throttle the second one as well. So it's not gonna be 2x. They scaling 2x. But if you're gonna run them in air, the way the Nvidia envision, it's going to thermal throttle a little bit, and it's going to be 1.75 times versus the single Titan RTX in terms of the FPS. If you're gonna run on air, completely stock. But if you're gonna replace and run them on water cooling, which will cost you $200, $400 extra, it depends what kind of setup you're gonna do. It's not worth it, guys. You better invest that money towards RTX 3090 and run a single RTX 3090 and still receiving twice FPS as a single Titan RTX. The best Nvidia video card, the best one so far in 2025 will be RTX 3090. That one is the best Nvidia video card. But the most value if you purchase them when it was released will be Titan RTX so far. But RTX 3090 is a little bit better value in terms of the pricing and in terms of the FPS. Keep that in mind, and the life cycle as well. So this is how, when I'm telling you about the video cards, about the parts, this what kind of features I'm taking regarding the rating by UHD King. Look at that, that's beautiful. I really like that, and really like that Machete version 2.0. It's absolutely fantastic. Great headshot killer, cutting those heads. Yeah, if you're into zombies, this is a must-have to have game. You can get it on the Steam, on the GOG, and all kind of different clients. It's one of the best games out there. All right, so I showed you that, right? I showed you the minimum visual preset as possible in the game, except the textures was at high, as you can see. To switch it to medium, I cannot switch it to low. I gotta quit the game. Let me go ahead and do it, and it's going to be a way to do it. And then load up the level again. Let me go ahead and do it, but it's not going to be a big difference. The difference will be in terms of the video RAM only, because it says to load the texture in a full quality or not. But let's go ahead and do it to wrap it up, and we're going to wrap it up. As you can see, medium will be lowest. So this is the visual preset that we're going to use, just like that. Okay. Let's go ahead and save that, and let's go ahead and start it over again. I don't think it's going to be any difference in terms of the FPS. Texture quality high to medium, I don't think so. It's loaded very quick though on texture quality at medium, much quicker than on high. Same FPS, 164 FPS, just like when I started. I just refresh average FPS, so we're gonna see the average FPS correctly. I was doing this during this video every single time when we were loading this level for the newer visual preset. I was resetting the average FPS. Nobody cares about that 0.1% or 1% of the low FPS. The PC games well optimized that low FPS maybe sometimes appears, but they're not gonna reflecting in terms of your gameplay. Those FPS, those fake benchmarkers come up with, and they're using that, and but it's nothing. Don't care about lowest 1% of the FPS. It will never, drop to lowest FPS, like not even 10 times per half of the seconds. It's going to be like maybe per 2 minutes, maybe 1 or 2 times. You're not gonna feel it anyways. It's running beautifully, guys. 164, and if you're gonna utilize it 100%, as you can see, the lower resolution on the lower visual preset, the higher CPU utilization and the lower GPU utilization. So GPU utilization right now is even lower, 96%, from 98 to 96. So the faster CPU with much better instruction per clock, definitely gonna utilize every single CUDA core on this GPU at 100%. But as again, I would assume around Intel 12th generation or Ryzen 7 7800X 3D, at least CPU that probably going to utilize this GPU at 100%. If not, then 9000 Ryzen X 3D or Intel 13 or 12th generation for sure, or Intel 200 series for sure will utilize it. Look how beautiful underwater. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Far Cry 3. It's beautiful visuals. You can do some missions here, pick up some crafting stuff over here. It's just beautiful. Yeah, this game is piece of art. The Polish game developers did a good job. I didn't play Dying Light 2 yet. I remember when I purchased the game for you guys, I loaded one level, played like 30 minutes, but it was kind of boring for me. I'm gonna replay it, but I definitely gonna benchmark it and play it again. I guess I didn't have enough time because I was testing all kind of games in 8K, 10K, 12K, and 16K video resolution. By the way, I'm one of the first YouTuber that benchmarked PC games in 16K video resolution. Not one of the first YouTuber. Since August 2016, way before the Linus Media Group did. Keep that in mind. So another reason for you to thumbs up and subscribe for more great videos. And I'm trying to continue this tradition, and since 2016 I'm testing with all kind of different systems, PC hardware, different GPUs, CPUs, all kind of different systems, and showing all kind of different results, especially for those smart folks, smart gamers, smart PC hardware enthusiasts that, as again, building computers from the used parts, the best way to do it. So this part, as you can see, textures is not that sharp. It's kind of blurred out right now. but this is the minimum visual preset and texture set at medium because there is no low. While comparing to high, there is a difference, as you can see. Okay, but if you're gonna play this game in 8K video resolution and above, even with this visual preset, it's going to hard to see the difference, because every single texture right here, unless you're gonna look at the full screen per texture, is going to be way more detailed in 8K video resolution and displaying, like, let's say if this is texture is 4K video resolution right here. So if you're playing the game in 4K video resolution and the object 3D model, 3D primitive with this texture, diffuse texture, is not on a full screen, it means that right now it's like one divided by 6 amount of screen. So if it's 4K video resolution, it's not even going to render half of the texture pixels. So if you're playing this game in 8K video resolution or above, definitely you're gonna load the 4K video resolution texture at this size. Keep that in mind. So the higher resolution is better, of course. Even with the games from 2010, you're gonna see the difference because you're gonna load more pixels, more texture details on that 3D primitive and higher resolution than at the lower resolution. That's why I'm no longer playing games in 1080p. I'm only going to play games in 1080p on a handheld device, but no longer on a big screen or any screens on desktops. No longer. It will never happen because it just, everything looking like a soap washy, blurred out, kind of fake depth of field everywhere. This is how 1080p for me looks like, especially if you're playing it on 65-inch screen or above. 1080p is not good, guys. I'm playing the 4K video resolution since 2012, keep that in mind. So this is how it was with the 4 Radeon R9 290s, and then I got 4 Titan X Maxwells, and I was playing as minimum 4K. And in 2016 on 4 Titan X Maxwells, actually I was playing a lot of games in 8K UHD. So it's beautiful, guys. As you can see, the FPS is absolutely fantastic. So hopefully, guys, you enjoyed this test. So everything was demonstrated for you. As again, this was the lowest visual preset. I showed you everything what you need to know. Let me show you actually the last test. I'm always doing this, how I would play this game. So this is how I would do it. I would put the shadow map size not to the ultra, especially if I'm not playing 8K, but to the very high. If I would have less video RAM than 24GB of video RAM that is featured on the Titan RTX, this is exactly how I would play it. Otherwise, set to ultra. But let me play like this at very high because I tested with the 4 Titan X Maxwells in 2016 like this. So I want to play it like this, so we're gonna have the information to compare. Full HD quality high, distance all the way. Ambient occlusion off because it's texting a lot of deal, and there is not such a big difference. Kind of hard to tell the difference if you're going to compare the screenshots under the zoom. So while you're playing in motion, there is no difference. No anti-aliasing, and yeah, like that. I don't like motion blur in games, so just like that. So maximum visual preset like this, guys. Check it out. Okay, this is how I would play it. Nvidia depth of field, none of that, no ambient occlusion, no anti-aliasing, visual distance to the max. Let me go ahead and load up again from the start, and this is going to be the last test. And after that, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, and I'm going to show you actually within the details what kind of system I'm using today. For those folks that building computers from the used parts, it's going to be a technical information. Everything will be explained to you, so stick around. Everything about the CPU, GPU, and all the elements. Let me, 140 FPS, almost the same FPS, 142, 146 lowest, and this is almost like a maximum, but except no ambient occlusion and no anti-aliasing. 140 FPS, this is crazy. But this is how I would play it. This is kind of my visual preset for this game, and it's I'm still considering this visual preset as a maximum visuals. But it's, and in terms of the FPS, it's delivering crazy high FPS. Keep in mind, as again, I can boost up a little bit more FPS if I'm going to overclock my Titan RTX exactly in this game by 15%. So add additional 15% to the FPS counter. And if I'm going to stop recording with the Nvidia Shadowplay on the same computer, at exactly 10%, let's say 8% to the FPS counter. 10% if you're gonna add to the FPS counter, you're gonna be golden. So you're gonna receive the FPS without the recording, because as again, I'm recording on the same computer while using Nvidia Shadowplay, which is the best desktop recorder, desktop screen recorder. It's 10% and below, and it can record in 4K video resolution and even 8K video resolution, which is unbelievable. Beautiful FPS, guys. So maximum visuals, no anti-aliasing, no ambient occlusion. The game looks almost the same when it's on, but the FPS is like 130 FPS. This is just crazy. On a single Titan RTX video card and the i9-9900K processor, both parts from 2018. And as again, right now running Dying Light Retouched Edition of the game, that improved visuals was introduced in June 26, 2025. Today is July 14, 2025. Almost a month after. Check out my 8K video resolution on this system, and I'm going to put the comparison on 4 Titan X Maxwell GPU architecture and 3 Titan X Maxwell GPU architecture in video comments. Go ahead and check it out, and don't forget to smash that like button. Compare with those. Compare with the 2 generation before Turing GPU architecture. Titan RTX is such a big deal video card because it was the first video card that was supporting the ray tracing, acceleration, and I probably should use some different weapons, but let me see. Bunch of bandits. Oh, check it out. This guy knows what he's doing, huh? Let's see, are you? Bunch of bandits. So this video card was such a big deal because it was using ray tracing acceleration on the GPU, besides the rasterization through the CUDA, which is RT cores, and the AI cores, which is the neural cores, which for the Nvidia called Nvidia Tensor cores. So it was using the CUDA, RT cores, and Tensor cores on the same GPU. This the first for the users, for the gamers, for home users, the first video card that can actually accelerate the AI and accelerate the ray tracing. And this was the flagship GPU, the same flagship GPU for Turing GPU architecture that Nvidia used for the enterprise version of the Nvidia video cards, such as Quadro RTX 6000 and Quadro RTX 8000 video cards. Turing GPU architecture was using the same Nvidia TU102 GPU with the same amount of the 4608 CUDA cores. After this Nvidia Turing GPU architecture, in the newer Nvidia GPU architecture, Nvidia was using cut-down versions for the home users while comparing with the Nvidia Quadros. Keep that. No longer they were using the same version of the GPU for the home users and the enterprise clients for Nvidia Quadro video cards. Keep that in mind. But this was the last time they were using and put the same GPU, Nvidia TU102, with 4608 CUDA cores as on the Quadros. And Quadro RTX 8000 video card was priced at $8,000, but was for sale for around $10,000. Keep that in mind. It was always sold out. The same GPU, the same FPS will be on Quadro RTX 8000 versus Titan RTX. That's why this big deal for people that want to have high computing in 2018. Keep that in mind, because you're cutting in terms of the price by 3-4 times. We see the same deal. Only the Quadro RTX 8000 video card was featuring 48GB of video RAM versus Titan RTX 24GB of video RAM. But above 24GB of video RAM, you need to have games. You need to play games in 16K video resolution for sure, maximum visuals, if you're going to utilize above 24GB of video RAM. Otherwise, 24GB of video RAM is more than enough for games below 16K video resolution, keep that in mind. Let me use some medkit. Yeah guys, check out my video comments. I'm gonna put related videos for you to see all kind of different benchmarks in this game on all kind of different systems you're gonna enjoy. Yeah, that's pretty much it guys. 130, 140 FPS without the recording is 140 FPS average, and this is maximum visuals as again without the anti-aliasing and without the ambient occlusion. This is maximum field of view as well. 4K video resolution. Please watch this video in 4K HD. Switch it in your YouTube player to 2160p or 4K HD for the best possible visual experience. I'm recording in 130 megabit per second compression, video encoding compression. So field of view maxed out. I was coming guys in real time. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. So we covered 4K video resolution on a single Titan RTX. I'm also going to cover all those resolution in Dying Light Retouched on this system with 2 Titan RTX to wrap it up. For those people who's curious what will be the difference single and 2 Titan RTXs. So let me go ahead and show you guys what kind of system I was running it. By the way, on the background, this is exactly the system that I'm using today. It's a water-cooled CPU with the Corsair H150i Pro, 360mm radiator, but it's not on the picture, with the 3 Corsair fans. I put on top, though, a 200mm Cooler Master fan to cool down around the water cooler header right here. All those transistors and stuff, because they're getting a little bit of hot. There is no air, kind of cool it down. Titan RTX was running the default, as you can see, Founders Edition cooling system. This Titan RTX is not repaste at all. It's running the thermal compound paste from the stock, but I showed you the overclock performance of the Titan RTX while running liquid metal. So the performance in this video card, if you're gonna use the MS Afterburner and overclock it to 100 MHz on the GPU and additional 1000 MHz, or just because it's GDR6, external frequency will be 2000 MHz. So from 7000 to 8000 MHz on the GDR6, but its internal frequency. External frequency will be 14,000 MHz stock, and you can go all the way to 16,000 MHz times 2 because GDR6 for the external frequency. So 16,000 MHz on the video RAM GDR6 and external effective frequency, and the GPU at plus 100 MHz additional boost, you're going to receive 15% boost, 15% boost in terms of the FPS. Alright, so let me show you the GPU-Z, and we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I was overclocking this CPU to 5 GHz, 5000 MHz with hyper-threading technology is on, so 8 physical cores, 16 logical threads. So hyper-threading technology brought additional 8 logical threads, so total 16 logical threads. Constantly running 5 GHz plus minus 10 MHz. Any energy saving modes are disabled, so maximum performance. Motherboard Z390 chipset, ASUS Maximus 11 here. 32 GB of system RAM, 4 sticks, 8 GB, running though in dual channel, but ready for the quad channel, but running dual channel 128-bit, but quad channel is 256-bit, but Z390 chipset or Intel i9-9900K processor doesn't support a quad channel memory support, only dual channel is maximum. So 1600 MHz internal frequency, external effective frequency 3200 MHz DDR4, but not CL16, not CL14, not even CL13, CL11 1T command. The low value is better because it's lower timing between communication between the processor and system RAM. So right now it's below 44 nanoseconds. Okay, the higher frequency brings higher read, write, and copy bandwidth in terms of the megabytes per second or gigabytes per second. Higher value is better. So the higher frequency on the system RAM brings that in terms of the DDR3, DDR4, DDR5, DDR6. But the latency, CL11, way better than CL16 because it's reducing the timing communication between the processor and system RAM. How to find out which one is better, latency or frequency on the system RAM? Pretty much benchmark it benchmark the default results, read, write, and copy, add this and divide by latency, and then overclock the maximum frequency with default latency. Add this divided by latency, find out the higher value will be better as an answer, and then play with the latency and do the same thing, and the higher result as the answer will be better. So add read, write, copy divided by latency, and the higher result is always better. So overclock it, your system RAM, and find out which one is better in your scenario, system RAM frequency or latency. In my case, I kind of, as you can see, mix it together, maximum higher frequency and maximum minimum latency. Okay, and this was one of the fastest DDR4, 5000 MHz CL11, but unstable on this motherboard by Corsair. I think the reason why, because they was using microtechnology chips. Indeed, they're using this microtechnology chips. I double check. And microtechnology chips, when it comes to DDR4, hates the frequency, and it has to go above 4000 MHz frequency, but it loves to have the low latency. So I believe I utilize that memory the best. If you want to clock it to 5 GHz on DDR4 or above, like 5200 MHz, 5.2 GHz on the DDR4, you want to use the Samsung B die chips. A lot of those chips was used on the G-Skill. Somehow Corsair was using microtechnology chips when it comes to high frequency DDR4, and I'm not sure why, because it doesn't make no sense, because the microtechnology chips when it comes to DDR4 loves the low latency but hates the high frequency. Alright, so hopefully this part is explained for those people that building computers from the used parts, from a veteran of the PC hardware enthusiast, PC overclocker as UHD king. As you can see, I'm having all the experience all the way since 1997 when I built my first computer, and yeah, when I was clocking my first computer and improving its performance. I also did the benchmark on CPU-Z. When we are talking PC games, you're going to look at the single thread performance because you will never utilize all the cores, all the threads at 100% or something around 100%. But multi-thread performance on the CPU-Z benchmark utilized at 100% for a couple seconds. And this type of benchmark at multi-thread, you're going to look when you're going to use it as workstation. Let's say video encoding, when every single core, every single thread utilized at 100%, or 3D rendering such as Cinema 4D, Blender, 3ds Max. They can easily utilize over 128 CPU cores and CPU rendering, and this is where multi-thread will make any sense. But I benchmark it both multi-thread and single thread. But PC games, you're gonna look at the single thread. So go ahead and have a look. 16 logical thread CPUs scored as 10 physical thread CPU. This is a great score. Okay, let me compare with the old school CPUs just real quick. I'm just gonna go throughout all of them. Let's say if you're using those used old school CPUs and you want to see how well the CPU did, if you're looking to upgrade it or not, this is what's up. All kind of legendary old school CPUs right here. Go ahead and smash that pause button and compare the values. Single thread performance will be the values while you want to compare how well it's going to do in PC games, and multi-thread, how well it's going to do when every single thread, every single core is utilized at 100%. As again, in scenarios such as 3D rendering, video encoding, if every single thread, every single core utilized at 100%. All right. So this is what's up over here, guys, and I'm about to wrap up, and I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed. Hopefully you enjoyed this. As again, Dying Light is one of the best games. I highly recommend for you to purchase these games below $10. The full edition with all DLCs. You're gonna have a lot of fun, especially if you're having handheld device. This game is certified for handheld device, and you're gonna play and you're gonna have a lot of fun, guys, on the go with this game. This game is unbelievable. 12th generation legendary i9. As you can see, it's dominating me by a lot. And then the legendary Ryzen 9 5950X. Okay, so everything, guys, was shown. Don't forget to smash that like button, as again, a lot of time, money, energy is invested. And subscribe for more great videos. Share it with your friends, guys. This YouTube channel is definitely about the value before the profit. Keep that in mind. And on the profit, through those ads, I'm investing back into you. I'm giving a lot of games giveaways, some hardware giveaways, so you definitely subscribe to this YouTube channel. As again, 24GB of video RAM, 24,576 megabytes. Bandwidth on this GDR6 was 672 gigabytes while running stock, but if you're going to overclock it to 16, sorry, not 18, to 16 gigahertz or 16,000 megahertz. Right now it's running 14,000 megahertz or 7,000 megahertz internal frequency GDR6. You're gonna receive 800 gigabytes per second, and this memory overclock definitely gonna boost up that performance to 10-15% in terms of the FPS on this particular video card. All right, so guys, everything is shown, everything is mentioned. As again, today was July 14, 2025. It's nighttime, 2:43 a.m. Don't forget to smash the like button. Thank you so much for watching. My name is UHD King, aka I play 4K, aka I play 8K, aka I play 16K. You know exactly why my nickname is like that, because I was the first 16K video resolution YouTuber. And in August 2016, while I recorded and demonstrated Half-Life 2 running in 16K video resolution on 4 Titan X Maxwell GPU architecture. Go ahead and check out my playlist on this YouTube channel. And yeah, guys, have a good morning, good day, good afternoon, and I will see you till the next time.